Welcome to Jurassic World Dominion. Hey, everybody, I'm Cam with The Real World. Thank you for joining us. Today, I am reviewing Jurassic World Dominion. I'm going to keep things spoiler free here, so no spoilers. I will get into spoilers later in the review, and I will also rank the Jurassic films later in the review. Go to the timestamps if you just want to jump to the spoiler talk or the ranking of all 6 Jurassic films. That's in the description below. All right, so Jurassic World Dominion is now in theaters. I got to see it opening night, and the film is a mess. Colin Trevorrow returns to the director's chair here. He makes some odd choices. The plot is bonkers. It is truly a kind of baffling idea behind this film. I don't know why they decided to go this route. It doesn't really make any sense. It was just an odd choice. What was set up at the end of Fallen Kingdom was so exciting. Dinosaurs in the world, terrorizing people. We get very little of that here, unfortunately. He, of course, includes the legacy characters, these returning characters played by Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum. They're in a lot of the movie, but they're not really doing anything interesting. The 2 storylines, one of them is really compelling, and the other one is so boring. I was shocked by how boring they made a dinosaur film because they did not make it about dinosaurs. They just don't pace the film that well. It's way too long. 2 hours and 26 minutes, by far the longest Jurassic film. All of them are right around 2 hours or less. So we have the most bloated film, both from a runtime perspective and budget-wise. They spent a lot of money on this movie, but they didn't spend it very well because the effects are average, I would say. They're not bad. They're not as great as what you would expect from a Jurassic film. I mean, I think this takes a step down from Fallen Kingdom. The attempts at humor here are embarrassing at times. There are some cool new characters introduced. I thought the actors did a good job. It's fairly well shot. The cinematography is good, I would say. Step up from Jurassic World, what Trevorrow did on that film. There's one particular sequence in the film that works, and it is exactly what I wanted the movie to be and what I was expecting the movie to be. But the rest of the film is not that. We get far too little time with those elements and far too much time with something else. So all in all, Jurassic World Dominion is very much a mixed bag for me. I give it 2.5 stars out of 5. It certain things worked, certain things didn't. It does end on a fairly satisfying note, I would say, but it just does not capitalize on what Fallen Kingdom set up, unfortunately. All right, so spoiler talk here for Jurassic World Dominion. So Colin Trevorrow decided to make a dinosaur movie about bugs. I don't know why. So you had this wonderful setup of the dinos getting loose at the end of Fallen Kingdom, and they're ready to terrorize the world. They spend a ton of time talking about crop shortages. If you're trying to craft a finale to a dinosaur franchise, the dinosaur franchise, you're not going to focus on dinosaurs. I mean, dinosaurs don't even play a very big role here. There's that great sequence in Malta where they're running through the streets chased by velociraptors. There's this whole black market of dinosaurs. They're making dinosaurs fight and betting on them. I mean, all of that was great. And I wanted the whole movie to be that, but it feels like just, how are we going to get this original cast back? I don't know. And they came up with locusts, which, why? I don't know. I have to ask Colin Trevorrow. You had a perfect setup with Fallen Kingdom to, see velociraptors running through the streets and pterodactyls pulling helicopters and planes out of the sky. And we get both of those things in this movie, but it's such a small part of the runtime that so much of this story is dedicated to the legacy characters, Grant, Sattler, Malcolm, infiltrating Biosync. I just don't understand why you would spend that much time on that in this film when your last movie set up this great world for you to explore. and they just don't do it here. Claire and Owen is all about that, and that's the highlight of the film. And if that was just the film and they cut out the legacy characters, and I like the legacy characters, they're great actors, they're great characters that I wanted to see more of, but the way they're utilized is just not done very well. So you have Owen and Claire dealing with dinos in the black market, and they're being chased by raptors through this city in Malta. Pterodactyl does attack this airplane. It's this great sequence. That stuff worked. Their emotional connection to Macy, and the fact that, you know, she's been living with them and they've kept her in hiding, but she wants to get out and explore and find out who she is and where she came from. And Blue returns briefly. Her baby Beta gets kidnapped along with Macy, and they're taken to Biosync, and they're Owen and Claire are kind of on this rescue mission to get both of them back. And that was very compelling, very engaging, exciting. And so that part of the movie totally works. When they do eventually cross over with the legacy characters at the very end of the movie, it's, I wouldn't say more than 15 or 20 minutes that we get with them all together. It works and it's fun, and I enjoyed that, but it's just too little too late at that point. So the legacy characters just felt forced into this movie. It was like they had a movie written and they decided, oh, let's bring all those characters back. Well, how are we going to do it? Well, just add on this story, I guess. Yeah, it just didn't work. BD Wong works in this movie. He's not in it as much as I was hoping he would be, but they do a good job actually at giving him a kind of redemption arc, which I thought was quite effective, surprisingly, because he was in the others so little. But we got enough of him in those movies to make this movie, his role here, work. Campbell Scott as Dodgson is putting on a bizarre performance. He'll say the most strange things, nonsensical dialogue, and then just walk off the scene, walk away from the characters that he's speaking to. It was a weird performance, and you know, I don't know what the thinking was there. The score is good. Giacchino returns, does a fine job with the score again. He's a solid composer. Had some fun scenes, had some cool dino action, and then it had a lot of the most boring corporate espionage you can imagine, and bugs, a lot of bugs. Set your expectations low, and you'll probably get a kick out of it. It should have been called Jurassic World Dumb Opinion. So I would be interested in seeing it again, seeing if my opinions change on it at all. But overall, what they decided to do with this plot simply did not work. A complete overhaul of the script is the only thing that could have saved this movie, because you have a great cast, you have technicians at the top of their game. Overall, I was entertained. I was never, well, I was pretty bored with a lot of it, but there were moments that were great. I'll say that. There were moments that were really good that I thoroughly enjoyed. And I just wanted more of that and less of talking, trying to make jokes, and a plot about crops and food supply. So I ended up with 2.5 stars out of 5 for this one. So that's it for my thoughts on Jurassic World Dominion. So here's my ranking of the Jurassic films. I decided to rank them from worst to best. So, and at number 6 is The Lost World Jurassic Park, which I gave 2.5 stars. I also give Jurassic World Dominion 2.5 stars, so it is in at number 5. Barely edging it out at number 4 is Jurassic World, which I gave 3 stars. And then at Jurassic Park 3 is in at number 3 with 3.5 stars. I gave Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom 4 stars on my recent rewatch, so it's in at number 2. And of course, number 1, the best Jurassic film, is still the first Jurassic Park, which I gave a full 5 stars. So the franchise has lots of ups and downs. If you want to hear more about it, check out our podcast. The Real World Podcast is all about Jurassic. So we talked all about the first 5 Jurassic films, and we reviewed them and we ranked them. So be sure you check that out if you want more discussion on this series, if you're a fan of it like I am. I also have a video up, what to watch if you like the Jurassic movies. So if you're a fan of these Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films, check out that video, tell you some other recommendations for other movies you can watch that are similar. And make sure you come back to the channel. Again, share this on social media with your friends. We'd really appreciate that. We appreciate giving us a like. That helps a lot. Commenting with your favorite Jurassic films. Give me your whole ranking in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe, of course, and hit the bell to get notifications of all our videos right here at The Real World. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.